What you give is what you get. Jermari Harris' favorite quote of all time actually comes from Hawkeye great Bob Sanders. And on this Wednesday, Harris himself has announced he's returning to Iowa for a sixth season. I could not wait to post this video. I got a lot of respect and admiration for this young man, and I'll tell you why in just a second. But first, I want to remind you, please hit the like button, folks. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Turn that notification bell on. It does help us let you know when we're going live and when we're posting new content. And also, if you're interested in donating to the cause, especially as we head into a long football offseason, please support the cause by means of PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. All those links are in our description. Thank you in advance for your support, the way you support the show here from the Hawkeye of the Storm. So Iowa cornerback Jermari Harris is coming back for a sixth year. Big news for the secondary. We'll talk about implications in just a second. But think about this young man's past. Think about his story. He comes from Chicago, gets here 2019, plays a couple of games, ends up taking a redshirt season. And then you have the 2020 off-field stuff, not involving Jermari specifically, but the claims of racial injustice with some former players. You have the Chris Doyle firing. And then, of course, you have certain players like Kayvon Merriweather stepping up and saying, hey, we're together. We're in this together. We're brothers. We're going to get through this. You have the lawsuit that was announced by former players. You have all the controversy there. The Hawkeyes start 0-2. They win 6 straight, go 6-2 in the season. Jermari Harris was a part of that football team. 2021, Jermari plays in 2021. Iowa has a really successful season. They go to the Big Ten championship game. He starts, I think, 10 of those games in 2021. And he's primed for a big 2022 year. And then what happens? In April 2022, Jermari Harris was picked up for OWI, arrested, and in light of that arrest was suspended for the 2022 opener. People make mistakes, right? He has an opportunity to bounce back. What happens? He suffers a serious injury, had to undergo surgery, and missed the entirety of the 2022 season. Now, in 2023, he comes back, and what do you know? Opportunity as a fifth-year guy to kind of be the guy next to Cooper DeJean in that defensive backfield, and he's suspended for a couple of games due to the gambling stuff. And I'm not saying that you take the blame off of the young man. He accepted the consequences for a choice that he made, but missed the first couple games of 2023. So he's gone through a lot. And again, I'm not saying that he hasn't made mistakes. I'm sure he would admit that, yeah, I probably haven't always made the best decisions, but who of us make the best decisions at any point in our lives? We try to, but Jermari has obviously been a player that has been respected among his teammates. In 2020, he was named to the Leadership Council. He was one of just 4 redshirt freshmen to be named to that Leadership Council. In 2021, he was given the Next Man In award on defense. In 2022, in spite of the suspension and the injury, he was one of just 6 juniors named to the Players Council. And then this year in 2023, he was given the Comeback Player of the Year award. I had a conversation with Jermari, which I'm going to share with you here in a couple of moments. And I had that conversation back at Media Day in August, and he's just a likable young guy. Like, you can just tell he's probably been humbled a little bit in life. He's made some mistakes. He's also dealt with some suffering in his life that is absolutely unfair. I know he shared with the media in August that he lost his father growing up. It's interesting. The question was asked to him, if he had a lot of money, what would he do? And I think actually the question was phrased, if you won the lottery, what would you do with it? His answer just struck me. He said, I'd buy a bigger tombstone for my father. And that just, I just almost don't know how to react to that. I mean, and he was as genuine as can be when he said this. And it does. It gets you, it reminds you of the personal side of football, the human beings that are inside the helmets, behind those face masks. And here's a young man who's been through a lot. He was asked about what he would be doing if he wasn't playing football. He was talking about working downtown Chicago. I thought that was a fascinating answer. So I'll share that interview with you in just a second, but super happy for Jermari Harris. This is a young man who has battled through adversity. It will make him stronger as a human being. And obviously he is respected by his coaches, respected by his teammates. Iowa would not take you back for a 6th year. They want this young man back, and kudos to him for battling through trials and tribulations. He will be better for it in the long run. My heart goes out to Jermari Harris. Congratulations, Jermari, on coming back. Looking forward to seeing you in 2024 and talking with you at Media Day in August. But without further ado, let me turn it over to the short interaction we had with Jermari, including that little interaction that he had with, I believe, someone from the Daily Iowan on some non-football related topics. But just take a listen to it, and I think you'll appreciate what I appreciated, the human being behind the number 27. We'll see Jermari back for a 6th year to anchor back the defensive backfield. We'll get decisions from Quinn Schulte, Sebastian Castro, and Cooper DeJean coming up. But this is number 4 as it relates to extra year announcements. We've already had Nick DeYoung, Luke Lachey, Jay Higgins, and now Jermari Harris. Here's Jermari back in August.
I got to lock in mentally, notice some smaller details in film, whether that's a foot difference. Just trying to help out the younger guys, help them make plays, and as Cooper alluded to, just locking in on the smaller details. It'll pay off at the end of the day.
You've seen that payoff already a few days in the camp, just to go maybe see something I didn't see in 21 or something like that. You noticed that?
Yeah, no doubt. I think as a DB, a lot of people don't think how much, a lot of people don't understand how important it is to read the entire offense. Or you can get a key from the offensive line and maybe help you out in run support. Or if this receiver has his foot up, he's going here, maybe he's leaning there, quarterback looking this way. Just trying to get as many answers as I can to the
Jermari, go ahead.
I just was going to ask you some non-football related questions. What would be the first thing you would do if you won the lottery?
If I won the lottery?
Yeah.
I'm going to give my dad a new tombstone. I want to give him that one of those big old castle-like tombstones. He's actually buried in the same cemetery as Juice WRLD. Juice WRLD got a crazy tombstone. So yeah, I'll definitely give him one of those tombstones.
If you could eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Giordano's pizza.
Okay. Do you have what's your go-to? What flavor do you get?
I'm not picky, but sausage and spinach probably.
Okay. What's your favorite movie genre? Are you a big movie guy?
I'm a big action guy.
Okay.
I love action. I'm not really into the anime. Like Scarface. American. Actually, I used to grow up loving Lion King. Lion King was one of my favorite movies.
Have you rewatched it recently? Since you were a kid?
I actually rewatched the live one. When they were actually lions. That was pretty decent.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen that?
No.
Not live, but they like real lions.
Yeah.
You talking about that one?
Yeah.
Real lions?
Yeah. It's like they remade it about 4 or 5 years ago. Lion King.
OG's always better though, right?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Definitely, but still, it was interesting.
Yeah. If you, who would you want to play you in a movie?
Who would I want to play me?
Yeah.
Denzel, if he were younger.
Yeah, why is that?
I feel like Denzel can just capture anybody. That's one of the greatest of all time. That's really all I got to say about that one. He's just a goat.
How would you describe your fashion style? Are you more laid back? You like to got designer clothes? What's up with that?
I'll say I'm very versatile. It kind of depends on how I'm feeling that day. Wide variety of stuff. I'm not really into design. I love finding stuff that people don't have. So I go flea market shopping sometimes just to grab some vintage stuff. Or I might go into the mall and grab something that's on the edge. I know the baggier pants and back in. I've never really been a skinny guy, and skinny pants wearing guy anyway. So I enjoy that trend.
Is there a favorite store you like to thrift at?
Swap-A-Rama is in Chicago. It's one of the bigger flea markets, I think, in the country, maybe. It's open usually on Sundays. They got everything you need.
Are there any pet peeves that you have around football? Some guys were talking about their pants and how they have become loose, getting new cleats, just annoying things.
I really hate when my pants go over my knees in the game.
Yeah.
For some reason, I grew up playing basketball in the era with the shorts, not too short though, but I just feel like I'm locked in. I can't move as well when they over my knees. That's a pet peeve of mine. So you'll catch me in the game, just pulling them up every once in a while.
Gotcha. If you weren't playing football on Saturdays, what would you be doing?
Right now, probably be working downtown Chicago. when I was a kid, I always wanted to work downtown, have a briefcase, be a briefcase suit guy, working in business, like the movies.
Yeah, I assume you want to play football as long as you can, but like that would be the route you would go if you're done.
Definitely
Okay.
focus on that.
What's your major?
Enterprise leadership.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
Last question. Do you have a piece of advice or like a motto that you live by with athletics or just in general?
What you give is what you get. I remember Bob Sanders said that like in 2019. He was a captain, honorary captain. He said, "What you give is what you get." And that stuck with me, hit me hard. I'm trying to give it my all so I can get all.
Yeah, and especially with being out last year, is that kind of heightened this year, giving your all this year? Yeah.
That's watching film, trying to help the younger guys out. Having to sacrifice a little something so I can be better, so help this team win.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jermari, what is by the way, Corey Brada from the Hawkeye of the Storm. Good to meet you. She talked about your injury, but you had the arrest that was well publicized. You had the injury. So you've had trials and things that have probably put you on your butt. How have you recovered from that? Has that made you a stronger person, would you say?
Yeah, no doubt. I kind of say just my entire life, I kind of, went through some things. It's kind of toughened me up. My mother always told me it's always somebody in a worse position.
Right.
So I kind of think of that whenever I go do something tough. I just try to continue to push back. It's all about how you respond. What's
the competition like in the DB room with you and Cooper as kind of the experienced dudes, and then you got a lot of young talent like Deshaun and TJ Hall, and you got some freshmen in there. I mean, what's the DB room competition-wise right now?
Everybody's competing. That's something I gotta say. It's actually been fun to watch everybody compete. Everybody put the effort in, just try to do what they can to make the bus. Whether it's on special teams, or as a DB, it's been fun to watch these young guys.
If Phil Parker ever decided he wanted to pursue being a head coach before he retired, would he be a good head coach, and why?
I'm not sure. I'm gonna let him answer that for you.
Okay. So this defense as a whole right now is and we keep hearing about the depth up front being the strength. Would you agree with that? What's the strength of this defense?
Yeah, football always starts in the trenches. So the stronger we are in the trenches, whether it's offensive line, defensive line, I believe that's the better we'll be as a football team. So I would say our D-line is our strength.